Hey guys, my name is Kristen Knotts. My research paper was purity rings. I'm going to go into a little bit more depth about that. A purity ring is an item worn as a sign of chastity, meaning it's worn as a promise you won't have sex until marriage. Typically the ritual for purity rings happen when they're teens, just getting into high school, pretty much their most impressionable ages. And for this ring, there's two types of ceremonies you can have. You can have a ball or a group session. The group sessions normally consist of youth groups or church groups, anything that really has to do with the church with a bunch of students, or not a bunch of students, a bunch of members coming in together to have a class about it. And they will sit there and pledge or actually vow if they're going to keep their virginity until marriage. And if they do that, their parents will present them a ring or a necklace or a bracelet. And that bracelet or whatever their parents gave to them is that sign of their purity ring. Now, the ball is typically for younger girls. Um, they'll have like their family and friends come, and it's pretty much like a wedding. The girl is going to be in a white dress, the dad's going to be in a tux. And with that, they're going to have dancing, food, and after all that is done, the dad's gonna make a vow to the daughter, basically saying that, "Hey, I've kept your innocence up until this point, and now it's your turn to protect it." And once she says, "Okay, I'm gonna protect it," he's going to give her a ring, bracelet, necklace, or whatever to have a symbol as that for the chastity ring or the purity ring as however. But with this notion, since they did it in the 90s, the real reason why they did this was to stop teen pregnancy. Now, if it really worked, we'll find out. But the pros of this purity ring are mainly from people who have stayed within Christianity throughout the rest of their life, got married within Christianity, still participate in Christianity. Now, the pros are pretty much it's made them closer to God. They're glad they did this. It's kept them in check, like, they didn't have to sit there and stray off, like, they pretty much stayed within the boundaries, which is typical if you're growing up in that religion and wanna stay within that religion. However, the cons are it was emotionally draining for some people who didn't wanna be in the religion in the first place, and so right when they had the chance to get out of it, they did. Now, some of the cons of it are, it's just the emotional side effects. There's been girls who have come out who've had purity rings, fear that if they left their ring at home, they would be judged by their peers, saying, "Oh my gosh, did Caitlyn have sex with her boyfriend? She doesn't have her purity ring on." And that is just really not the notion of the purity ring, I think. I think a lot of people wore it, the purity rings, because they were scared of other people's opinions. I feel like that's really what made them wear it. Um, But overall, it really didn't reduce the teen pregnancy issues. I feel like the research to me shows that it caused a lot more psychological issues than it did any outcomes. Like people, like teenagers were still having sex even with the purity rings on. They're still going to have sex if they want to have sex. Only thing parents can really do is teach them how to have safe sex. And with the purity ring, when they had sex, they just felt really guilty about it, and they felt dirty, and one girl even stated that she had sex in her boyfriend's mom's minivan, and she cried about it on the whole way home, which I don't think is something you should really be teaching your kids because from the research I've seen, it pretty much shown this purity ring as a controlling thing, like, you're holding something above someone's head, and you're gonna keep it there. So, in my conclusion, and from my research, the purity rings did nothing really to help the pregnancy. If anything, it increased the pregnancy in the Christian cultures because it really showed who was having sex with purity rings and who wasn't. So that's my conclusion.